Morning, all of you. Is it working? So thanks to the organizers, first of all. It was a nice meeting and such a nice venue. So this is my first visit to the center. And today I'm going to talk about multiplex network optimization and spectra. So this is like change in the title, but content is same. And this work has been done with my postdoctorate Sanjeev Murillo from Aberdeen, UK. And this is under review. And someone wants that preprint is available. And then similarly, there are some other work which is also, we can say that, related to publication on networks and spectra, but not optimization. So these are some related publications. And let me now start with, since there was not a single talk so far, at least since yesterday, on networks, so there is only one slide on networks. And networks are graphs, pair of the sets where nodes and links are connected with each other. So here I have just given a picture of regular network, and here it is random network. And random graphs were first studied by Rossetti in series of paper, and it got again a boost in 1998, 1999 by two landmark paper by Watts, Stogatz, and Baravasi. And the network science, the success of network science is that, or the main essence behind network science is that it deals with collective phenomena and which arises due to the interaction. So interaction part, which is very important when we talk about the network science. So how due to the interactions you have collective phenomena emerging out from the entire system, and there's a lot of examples here which is written. And this is just two slides on the overview of the network, and then I'll come to my work. So this overview of network, then there have been several interesting properties which have been emphasized for the various kind of real-world systems which can be modeled using networks. And there are certain properties which I have listed. And these properties, incidentally, there are a lot of real-world complex systems which range from disease spreading to neurons in the brain. They follow the similar kind of behavior, which is robust against accidental failure, small diameter, modular structure, and all this. So these are the structural properties. And there are a certain amount of work which is there on the spectral properties. And before I talk about the spectral properties, which is one of the prime technique used in my work, I should introduce that what is the meaning of a spectra. So suppose this is some real-world networks, and real-world networks can be depicted in terms of adjacency matrix. Here 0, 1 means that nodes are connected, then they are 1, and if nodes are not connected, corresponding entry becomes 0. And then you have eigenvalues of underlying adjacency matrix are called spectra of the graph. So this is meaning of the spectra. And there are a lot of work which has been done already in the spectral graph theory. And I have just tried to list a few of them, the important one. And with this, let me now come back to my work. So far, network science has so far focused on one type of interaction among individuals. So this will become clear in next few slides. So like 1 is interacting with 2 and 2 is interacting with 3. But now it has been realized that there may exist more than one type of interaction among the same unit. And how is it possible? Let us see here. So you have like 1 may be interacted with 2 with one type of interaction and with another type of interaction as well. And I will give some examples in order to make it more clear. So now this network, which was like one type of interaction based on one type of interaction, now here we have two different types of interaction which may be possible in the same unit or in different unit. Now 1 and 2 is interacting with one type of interaction, and 1 and 3 is interacting with another type of interaction in the same system. And that has given rise to this multiplex kind of network, which is relatively new concept in network science. And here the example, in order to make it more clear, like one very popular example which I use, that is a transport network. So same cities, they can be connected by bus, they can be connected by air, and they can be connected by trains. So you can have different kinds of layer arising due to the different types of interaction. So you can see here that nodes may remain same. So it means cities are same, but they may be interacted in different manner when you are considering rail transport network or you are considering air transport network. And recently it has been, a lot of work has been done in multiplex network. And the thing is that why this framework has been so successful, that ignoring impact of another layer may be leading to wrong prediction of the dynamical behavior of this layer. For instance, a strike of bus service may result in overloading the rail and air traffic routes, and we have also done some work where we have shown that cluster synchronization in multiplex network, how one layer affects the structural property of one layer affects the dynamical behavior of another layer. So now in multiplex framework network, now the A adjacency matrix, instead of simple, like now we have this kind of block structure which is arising from this kind of multiplex framework. So you have this node is interacting with this node. This is showing, this interlayer links is showing the diffusion of impact of one layer on another layer. So this is the meaning of this interlayer links. So this layer is having some kind of impact on this layer through this link, and that is modeled using this identity matrix. So you have different layers which is presenting in the diagonal, and off-diagonal elements are nothing but the unit matrix of the same dimension, and eigenvalues of underlying adjacency matrix, again, that is called the spectra of multiplex network. And now our aim is to create the most synchronizable system. So system which is showing the coherent behavior, and synchronization is another very popular field in network science. I am not going to details into that. But here the restriction or the novelty here is that only one layer can be altered. So there are two layers, and we can only change one layer, and this layer we cannot change. And there are a lot of practical application in the multiplex system. You may have, like, you may reroute some of the flights, but putting on the new railway track may be costly or may not be feasible. So there are many practical situations where you can only have access to the one layer, and second layer you cannot touch. So suppose this layer is fixed, and you can only change this layer. You can introduce the nodes, you can delete the links, introduce new links, and then how you can make this entire system synchronizable just by changing this layer. So like here, now this link we can remove, and we can remove two links, and we can add more links. So that is the restriction, that only one layer can be altered. Okay, and synchronizability now. So adjacency matrix, now this is more generalized form of the adjacency matrix. So here we have interlayer links as well, which is defined as dx. So earlier in that slide it was unity, but now dx can take any value. So impact of one layer on another layer, that can also be different than the intra-layer connection weight, and Laplacian of this multiplex network is defined by standard using the very standard criteria that LJK is. So summation over all the rows, summation over entries in entire row, that would be 0 according to this measure. So this is Laplacian eigenvalues. And synchronizability of a network is defined in terms of eigenvalues of multiplex network. So that is already known thing, that eigenvalues, the largest eigenvalue divided by the second or first non-zero, because the first eigenvalue, lowest eigenvalue of this kind of matrix would be 0. So it would be first non-zero eigenvalue that divides actually defines the synchronizability of the entire multiplex network. So lower the R value, bottom line is that better synchronizability. So our aim, that is very clear, that for given n, so this is a typo here, so given n size of the system and m, this is building cost, if you can enumerate all the possible configuration for layer 1, so network corresponding to the lowest R value would be the most synchronizable. But enumerating all the network configuration would be computationally very exhaustive. So we formulate this problem through an optimization technique. And our optimization that aims to minimizing R and thus maximizing synchronizability. So I am rushing now fast. So this is the standard optimization technique where we are rewiring using some kind of optimization technique, and we are seeing whether next time step our network is more synchronizable or not. And then the thing is that how only one layer governs the synchronizability of entire multiplex network. And now let me just go back, just jump to the result section, because now time is running fast and I want some thing for, so we have actually shown by using some of the analytical calculation that this interlayer coupling strength actually, that plays a very important role in deciding the synchronizability of entire multiplex network. So this is one result which shows the importance of multiplexity, but the most important result of our work is this graph where I spent some time. So here now these two different lines, they are showing for, so for single layer rewiring, square is showing when you are only rewiring one layer, and this star is showing when you are rewiring the entire multiplex network. And here you can see both the cases we have the same efficiency. R norm is just denoting the efficiency of the synchronization, and one can see just by rewiring one layer, one can achieve the same efficiency as we were rewiring both the layers are done under certain conditions. So if we have weak interlayer coupling, it means dx is very small, and we are optimizing the layer which is having the stronger coupling strength. So under certain condition, we can have only one layer optimization can lead to the efficiency which is same as the both layer optimization. So that is our important result. So we show that synchronizability of whole multiplex network can be optimized by only rewiring a single network layer. So using that, now this is a more fundamental this thing, that optimization complexity can be drastically reduced. And then we have shown that how change in the architecture leads to various kind of, so our results remains actually robust against the change in the network architecture. So ways to improve synchronizability of multiplex network, and optimization of single layer can achieve a network that is roughly as capable to synchronize as the network where all the layers are evolved. And results are particularly relevant to improve synchronization of the system, only one layer is accessible, or when one wants to optimize a system in very cost-effective manner. And this importance of optimization, there's one slide which I want to invite your attention on this, that we show that, so optimization of complex system is behind the success of many technological or natural adaptive processes. For instance, the brain learns by rewiring its synaptic connections, and there are certain, actually there's a literature which says that deep learning machines that changes neural structure of the neural network to optimize its goal. So it's a current now scientific challenge to understand natural optimization process in order to reproduce it, and we showed that how in the multiplex framework we can reduce the optimization complexity under certain condition by just rewiring one layer, and then we achieve the same kind of efficiency as we do for rewiring the entire multiplex system. And this is future aspect, like it can be used for controllability of the complex system, like just by putting one layer at the top, we can control the entire system. So it is giving one different way of thinking for controllability, which is not like putting some input, like in the traditional approach, external inputs are imposed to affect the dynamics of few nodes, causing control of the entire system. But here we are putting one more layer in order to control the entire system. So this is some different way of thinking. And there are certain other works which is going on, which I am just putting just for the advertisement purpose, which is like cluster synchronization in multiplex network. So these two things actually I have discussed in today's talk, but there are several other work, which is cluster synchronization, existence of various structural patterns in real-world system, and then this last slide of my group there. So these are my students which are involved in all this work, some interns, international collaborators, and CSR for financial support and questions.
We have time for 2 questions.
Neural network as multiplex network.
So neural networks says that in brain, same set of neurons, they may form different layers of the connection depend upon what kind of functions they are having. So for one kind of function, they may have one type of connection architecture. In order to perform another type of function, they may have another type of network structure which is there.
What do you mean by function?
Function, like suppose they want to have some cognitive process, or in order to visualize something, they may have different kind of connection pattern. So type of interaction remains same, but network architecture may be changed here as far as.
So I didn't understand why is this ratio of these two eigenvalues tell you whether it's synchronized? I mean, what is the dynamics actually? Like you.
So here, yeah, this is a very relevant question. I didn't touch. This is a technical detail. So here, dynamics which we are talking about, which is diffusive dynamics. So the entire thing is only valid for diffusive dynamics, not for any other dynamics. And for diffusive dynamics, actually, one can show that this largest eigenvalue. So lowest eigenvalue actually says that suppose now lowest eigenvalue is also 0, like second positive eigenvalue is 0. It means network is broken in two communities. So network is very far separable. So if lowest eigenvalue, like second lambda 2, if it is very small, it means network is very close to become separable. So that one can show. So this lambda 1 by lambda 2 actually that shows for only that particular kind of diffusion process.